Well, how are you doing? I just have to flip to, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, with this new, one of the many new programs, when it goes live private. So I have to go over and flip it. So, and what do I want to do? I want to check, bring up your comments. So because I'm going through, I don't know how many pieces of software I lost track. I have my mouse, so it goes across all monitors now. I have like 4 of them, so I lose where it's at every once in a while. So we're going to do that. We're going to do that. We are going to turn the volume down on this. I just need to bring this up so I can see your comments. Like that. And I think there we are. So now if I do this, I think it should work. There we go. Good stuff. Thanks for tuning in. Now I check the bandwidth before I go live, because you never know what it's going to be like. Where's my phone? I've lost my, there it is. I just turn the phone down, because guaranteed I'm getting a lot of phone calls from my foreigner friends. What's the name of it? Hold on here. This is, I have a new friend, and it's called Potential Fraud. So, yeah. Anyway, let's just do that. Let's see how it's streaming. I'm just curious now. That actually looks like it might work. Isn't that weird? And seeing as we're all friends here, I'm going to see there's got to be a button somewhere where I can remove that Ask the Wizard so you can see the other thing better, but I don't know where it is, so I won't worry about it. Hey, you know what? If I did that, I bet it would disappear. Yeah, it doesn't work. Oh, well, we'll do that. Let's try this. Just for fun. Okay. It was actually, yes. And so, because again, I'm not on the phone, obviously, I can tell that you're watching, but the little icons don't show up, so I don't know who you are. So if you wanted to hop into the comments and say hi, that would be wonderful as well. Share. We're all in this together. It's interesting with these. I never start the topic at the beginning. We always kind of work into it. But so as I'm learning these things, I study everything from everywhere. And of course, YouTube suggests videos then once you start watching them. And what was really interesting, and I might even post it, maybe post it on the Physical and Metaphysical Tools for Taking Your Practice Online, which is a Facebook group that we have. And you can find it. I'll put the link here in a second. So if you are I'll say a practitioner, a content creator, whatever that may look like for you, and you've been thinking about going online, creating yourself, reinventing yourself virtually, or you're doing it now and just want to network with other people that are doing the same thing, that's what this Facebook group is for. And if I had my share stream up and running, but actually I think I can if I just go right here and go right here. I'll actually show you the group. It's actually really good. I've spent a lot of time, and I enjoy doing this, which of course is a huge piece of it. Kind of just really learning and all the tools. And for me, and you've heard me say this before, it's easy to go out and spend a bunch of money on stuff and equipment and all that type of stuff. The trick is to, I guess, if you will, spend it efficiently. And I find if you can, when you use a bit of, oh, hey, Rosemary, how are you doing? So everybody say hi to Rosemary. I see the comment over here. She's a really, really good example, not the only one, but just a really good example of somebody who is creating a presence online and is doing it wonderfully. And I've shared a bunch of her stuff because she's got really good stuff. She's consistent with it. She's real with it. And you can just, I think you can see her just kind of growing and refining, I guess, if you will, and stuff like that. And that's huge, because I was listening and it was actually, YouTube suggested this. It was a couple of businesses, I guess, and they deal with churches and sort of consulting, I guess, if you will, churches and things like that. Really, of course, for the last year, I mean, they've been hit incredibly hard as well. And what to do and what to do into the future. It was really interesting, and they had all these stats and stuff like that about. And it kind of fits in with the topic of this, but how things, oh, well, you're very welcome. And it's true. It really is. It's just, you're consistent with it. And of course, now you just sprinkle in a little bit of bullheaded stubbornness and you just keep going. What you're doing right now, and every time you do something like this, is you're building momentum. You're building momentum. And of course, as metaphysical, I'll use that word, practitioners, we understand and work with principles that are available to everybody, but people don't understand and work with. And so when you do that, Rosemary, when you put those things out, whether it's a post, and Nancy's another one that pops off the top of my head. Sorry, there's other ones I know. Whether it's an Instagram post, whether it's again, a Facebook Live, whatever it is, as you do that, you're fueling that non-physical momentum. And it's interesting. We will get to the topic of this, but and it applies to anybody. As you're consistent with that, you're fueling that non-physical momentum, and then that will reflect back to you. And often it reflects back to you from sources, through conduits and from directions that you wouldn't originally think of. And it almost catches you by surprise, and you kind of go, huh? Where did that come from? And that's something that's really important to remember, is you just keep fueling, just keep adding momentum, and it will return. As long as you keep doing it. There's all sorts of really logical and valid reasons, but it's kind of like the thing that separates those that are seeing the return and those that aren't is you stop. And I'm not saying, I've quit 1,000 times. Fortunately, I've started 1,001, but you're consistent with it. You just keep going, and you just keep going, and you just keep going. Anyway, listening to these videos, there was a couple of different guys I listened to, and they're very well spoken, and they talk about the trends. They talk about the trends in 2021, and so they were talking about how the physical expression, I'm using my words now, of church, if you will, it was changing, and now it's of course changed drastically, and it won't come back the way it was. And it's really interesting, the things this one fellow was saying, which is what we've been saying for forever. And that it's really coming down to community now. And it's not this big massive gathering. It's these groups of people. And so the expression I use is, we're all spirits vibrating in bodies that resonate with each other. And those natural harmonies will draw people together in these communities. But my phrase is community with a capital C. It's community that's not a philosophy, not a theology, not a organizational structure. It's built on what's real. Anyway, topic for this. I love these words. Usual. Just because it's usual doesn't mean it's normal. And that was really cool. And it was actually Esther Hicks. That's where I heard it from. And that really struck me. And I watched this like 2 or 3 days ago, and it just kind of stuck with me. So I wanted to hop online. And so the question that was kind of started this conversation with her was, so why is it that people have and so what this lady was saying, is why is it normal for people to have such a challenge, and I can't remember the exact words, it doesn't matter, practicing these laws of manifestation and stuff like that. And so what she was saying is, because they're all here and they're all available and all that kind of stuff, why is it like it's normal for people not to use them and access them? And her response was, well, and again, I'm paraphrasing, don't mistake usual for normal. And what she was saying is, just because it's usual and I'm going to jump off from there now, for whatever, right? Just because it's usual for things not to work out, just because it's usual for things to be difficult, just because it's usual for you not to settle, just because it's usual for you to, it's a big one, usual to put yourself second place or last place, doesn't mean it's normal. And that's really what hit me. And I think in our I'll say our society, we've mistaken those two words. And we talk about the new normal. And we talk about whether it's corporately, whether it's individually. We talk about how it's normal for things not to work out. It's normal to have to settle. It's normal to have to take second best. It's normal, it's normal, it's normal, it's normal, it's normal. And for me anyway, I think it's important that we start to use the right word. And the right word is it might be usual for that to be your truth. But it doesn't mean it's normal. And I'm going to do a YouTube video after that because I can get a lot higher resolution and be a little bit more succinct, I guess. But I like these lives because we can interact and kind of hang out and chill and stuff like that and play around and have fun. I found actually a really cool new music. So soundtracks and sound effects and all that kind of stuff. And one of the things is with soundtracks, of course, when you post stuff on Facebook and YouTube, is copyright things and that type of thing. So this one is they've linked in with that, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. It's really cool. I'm going to use some of the tracks for some of our live stuff. You know what? I'm just going to shift the Metaphysical website. Let me go right to here. I believe it is. I don't. Yeah, I think I want this one. Actually, here we're going to go here. This is what the production screen looks like, but for now, let's go over to here. So there's physical and metaphysical toolkit for taking your practice online. And let me go back to this. Where's my screen? Where is it? Oh, I got two windows. That is so cool. Yeah, this is what the studio, you can see is picture and picture and picture and picture. And I just got to figure out how to stop the damn sharing thing. Let's go here. There, I think that might work. Oh, there we go. There's a button below. There. I found the button. Yeah, that was fun. Anyway, physical, and it's just lagging like crazy, but it'll hopefully catch up now once I turn some stuff off. So, yeah, physical and metaphysical tool for going online. So if you're not part of that group and it's something that you've been thinking about doing, and now my buffering is going just crazy, but hopefully it'll catch up here. I'm going to try this and see what happens. Just because if you're thinking about going online, things like this, if you want to join the group, that'd be cool. We learn a lot of cool things. So just because it's usual doesn't mean it's normal. And I think that it's important for us to start using the correct word. So it may be usual that, again, things don't settle. For me, settle. That's such a huge thing for me, and I see around us is that, and it's not just because of the whole pandemic thing. This has been going on forever. Is that it's usual. We use the word normal. See, it's usual. We usually settle. And I think this is the big one. Is we usually settle for less than we deserve in so many aspects of our life experience. And we've slipped into, or we've been conditioned or even programmed into that that's normal. See the difference? And this is what really tweaked for me. It's not normal. It might be usual. But it's not normal for things not to work out for you. It's not normal for you to have to settle for less than you know you deserve. It's not normal, fill in the blanks. It might be usual, this is usually what happens, but it doesn't mean that it's normal. And I think that's important to remember, especially now. And it really was interesting, again, these two folks, the fellows that I was listening to, they were talking about these fundamental change, these transformational shifts in the way people connect with each other and things like that. And I mean, we can learn a lot of things from, if you just take the church piece and even throw it out or whatever, right? Just the way that people will connect with each other and things like that are changing, and that what was normal isn't anymore. I'm going to say what was usual doesn't have to continue to be usual, and it sure as hell doesn't have to be normal, because it's not. It's not normal. to accept less than you know that you deserve. And it's so insidious how this sneaks in. And it's an old story. The whole, you put the frog in the pot of boiling water and it jumps out. You put the frog and it's cool, and you slowly heat it up and it dies, right? And in so many cases, that's what's happened. Because you have experienced what normal should be. And slowly but surely, little by little by little, what is normal for you starts to be diluted by an experience that doesn't align with that. But it happens over and over and over again. And pretty soon it becomes what usually happens. And then we decide that this is now normal. So the process goes, I know it's normal for me to have things work out for me. I know it's normal for me to sometimes put myself first, right? I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes. And then you have these experiences don't align with them. Source just kicked in. You have these experiences don't align with what's normal. And initially, those experiences are unusual. Now, isn't this interesting? Okay, here we go. So you've developed a normal. And it feels good, and it aligns with what you know is true. And then an experience shows up that doesn't align with what is normal. And initially, this is really good. Initially, we call that experience unusual. So we go, this is what normally happens. Then I have this experience. We go, well, that's unusual. Because what is normal for me, what usually happens for me is this. But this has happened. That is really strange. That is really unusual. And so initially, we recognize that. We recognize that it's not normal for this, whatever this is, to happen. And then it happens again. Then we go, that's really unusual. And then it happens again, and then it happens again, and slowly but surely, the unusual starts to become usual. And then we decide it's normal. Now, there's an interesting equation for you. So what is normal is for things to usually work out. I'll just use that. So then something doesn't. And we go, wow, that's very unusual. That's not normal for that to happen. And then it happens again and again and again. And then the unusual becomes usual, and now it becomes normal, and we call it normal. We say, well, this is just normal, right? When it isn't. But we've subtly led a little bit. And before you know it, we're way, way off of what should be and still is normal for our experience. But not only are we way, way off of it, we've decided that where we are at now is where we should be. We talk about this in belief systems a lot. And then, because we've decided it's now normal, and now we go, wow, I can't even, I don't even see anything else. And then to actually experience what should be normal, you really have a flow chart for this, what should be normal for us initially feels unusual. See, because if you start here and then you slowly shift over here, this is what was normal. This is what was usual. Now you shift over here. Now to get back over here, it can feel just as unusual moving back over. See, that's the thing. And that's why so often people, when they take, especially initially, and not just initially, but that's often the big spot, is you take those first steps and it feels really unusual. Because, I don't know, this feels kind of weird. And then it feels uncomfortable, right? I did a little video clip using some music from the new website I registered for. And it was sometimes you can feel like you're tired. Sometimes you can wonder if it was worth it taking those first steps into the unknown. And I finish it off by saying, take it from someone who has crossed that bridge and turned around and set it on fire, that your story is far from over. And interesting. Then I will close. Your story is far from over. And you may be in that spot where you have been lulled into believing that the unusual has now become usual and has become your normal. Or maybe you've taken those first steps and it feels really weird. Your story is not over. Even though, this is Source, even though it sometimes can feel that way, your story is not done yet. Oof, this is strong. Back in 2004, sitting underneath that weeping willow tree, and I damn near phrased it this way. I decided to leave the land of the normals. I knew what I was here to do. I had received, as I like to say, my mission or my mandate. And I stepped through that looking glass. And I really did turn around and set that bridge on fire. Because I said, I don't know how this is going to work. But I know one thing. I'm not going back. And know this. Wherever you're at, whether you're in this spot that is so far from normal, usual, as to be you can't even see that, or whether you're taking your first steps, I'm on the other side of the bridge. And I'll always be on the other side of the bridge. And I'll be there waiting for you. Because I know everyone listening to this, everyone watching this, has a story to tell. You've got a reason to be here. And maybe it's time to cross that bridge. Maybe you're halfway across and wondering if it's worth going all the way. There's two things I can guarantee you. And I will close. The first one is it won't always be easy. And the second one is, and it's far more important, it'll always be worth it. Because you've got a lot of life to live. You've got a story to tell. And your story isn't over. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I will do an abbreviated version of this on YouTube. And, of course, I'll share it to Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube, or if you hop over to YouTube to check the channel out, I would really appreciate it if you would hit subscribe. It definitely helps with the YouTube algorithms. Hey, look at me, and all that kind of stuff. So share. We're all in this together. See you on the web.